Thank you so much, Yahuza Getso, for speaking with us this morning, joining the show this morning.
Good morning, viewers, and good morning, team. Thank you for the opportunity given. Thank you for having me.
All right. So, how is Kano this morning? I know that you're in Kano.
Well, Kano is quiet, even though Kano is being terrorized by the armed bandits. They are expanding, or they are kind of moving and shifting, and they have started chasing part of the areas of Kano State, neighboring Katsina State and neighboring Kaduna State. And we are calling for emergency and urgent action for the Kano State government to swing into action to prevent such occurrence, continued occurrence of these guys, activities of these guys. Otherwise, it is going to be something entirely different than that of what has been happening in Katsina and other part of the other states. Is going to be really difficult. Some local governments like Karaye, Rogo, Kiru, Gwarzo, my indigenous local government, Shanono, Bagwai, and Tsanyawa, as well as Nambata, have started being affected, including Munjibur and some other local government in the eastern part of Kano have started being attacked by bandits and kidnappers.
Okay, quite a sad story. Quite a sad story happening in Kano right now. But I think we'll start a conversation on the note of the just overhaul of the military architecture in the country. Of course, the new service chiefs that has been brought on board, and particularly looking at the acting IGP, that's the Inspector General of Police now, Kayode Egbetokun. What do you think will this, new service chiefs? What will you think? What do you think will all of this will do for the security network in the country?
Well, I must commend President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for quickly swinging into action. And looking at the 4 items in bullet points, we can say that he sounds to be determined, and he is really exhibiting sense of responsiveness, and he's being disturbed by the situation at hand. Right from his acceptance speech, he slightly talked about the security, but the message sent is very heavy. The second, during his inaugural speech, and third, when he invited the former service chiefs and security heads, when he had the meeting with them, with the former special advisor on security, Mangono, where he warned the military, the service heads about the issue of working together, that is harmonization and synchronization and collaboration and partnership, which has been a very big gap that has been created by the outgoing service heads as well as others that came before them. All this happens mostly during the Buhari administration under Buhari's watch, which is has been very bad and have not been a very good signal to the country. And for his ability to appoint Malam Nuhu Ribadu as special assistant, rather
National Security Advisor.
No, initially he was appointed as a special assistant. Special advisor rather, and then now became national and later became national advisor when there are glamoring issues coming from the cycle of the military and others, why a police should be appointed as a national security advisor, which I believe there are many civilians like me and others who can even do better than many of these many of these generals, because it is the matter of knowledge, the matter of understanding, the matter of results driven. It is not the matter of being in uniform as a Nigerian Army, Nigerian Air Force, or Nigerian Navy, or otherwise. Even in the DSS, there are many experts serving and retired who can perform very effectively if they are given the opportunity. So I believe also during the military era, one of the retired police officers on the same position of commissioner retired at the same, even though he resigned as an AIG, I think during Babangida or Abacha, Gambo Jimeta was a police officer, and he was the national security advisor, and he has done wonderfully. So I believe, looking at the reputation of the Malam Nuhu Rubadu and his family background, the upbringing, the quality of the services he has delivered when he was in the service, probably when he was given the EFCC, he was not given the right and the correct enabling environment to operate rather, and then he has not lasted longer for certain reasons. So we may not say that we didn't see actually much of his input and contribution and results. But however, I am very confident, and I believe in President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and I believe in his psychology and physiology and the way he is therapeutically looking into the security situation of this country. He must have conducted a thorough background check, a thorough understanding and review of Malam Nurubadi's profile and the reputation and the assessment of his performance in the other positions he attained right from the time he started his career to the time he resigned, and also his direct and indirectly inputs into the security arena, the security issues in the country. I believe there must be so much that has been done to scrutinize who is Malam Nuhu Ribadu, whether he deserves it or not. Looking at the way and manner President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing his appointment. Most of these guys that he recently appointed, the Chief of Defense Staff, Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Air Staff, Chief of Naval Staff, I know them, I work with them personally, and at one time or another, and I have been on track of some of their activities here and there in the Northeast and in some other part of the country where they attend certain positions. And I believe Bola Tinubu have done very well in scanning and picking these guys.
Okay. Now, do you think? I'm sorry to quote you.
Definitely going to deliver if on condition, if enabling environment is provided.
Now we are going to come back to.
If not provided, nothing will change.
Dr. Yahuza, we are going to come back to providing an enabling environment for these guys to do their job. But the question I want to ask this morning is, are you trying to say that Nigerians should expect something different from how the country was handled security-wise from the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari, from this particular administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Should we, look forward to something different in terms of security?
Well, from the takeoff, Buhari administration has been an administration of irresponsibleness, an administration of deceit, an administration of lies, an administration of cheating, an administration of providing enabling environment for corruption, an administration of borrowing and wasting and squandering trillions of money in the name of security without being secured, while the country is diving deep into the difficult circumstance and situation of being unsecured, and also emergence of so many other criminality.
But the security architecture under his administration was properly funded.
Well, you can maybe mention this, but I want to refer you back to 4 items. One, the National Security Advisor to the President Buhari made mention that trillions of money in US and pound sterling have been given out for the purchase of armament and a total overhaul of the security system. But he has not, he's mentioned that very clear. He was not under duress, or he was not forced, he was not under attack to make this interview. He said that I don't know where the money is and I have not seen any arm. That is one. Secondly, the former Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed Shamsuna, was accused by military and some other security agencies of not releasing the money to them meant for security activities and purchase of armament, hardware and software and so on. And she went to the National Assembly, to the Senate, where the military and other security complained before the Senate committee on whatever. And she was invited, she was represented by her permanent secretary, who is still in service, who is still the permanent secretary, Federal Minister of Finance, Budget and Economic Planning, whatever. And he went and he made mention and presented evidence to the public of giving the military and other security agencies huge amount of billions or trillions of money at a short period of 8 months or thereby. And at the same time, former Chief of Army Staff who died in a plane crash at Kaduna, General Tahiru, also was invited by the Senate to present a report. And when he presented the report, they started asking questions. He gave them 3 answers. 1, he says that you know who you have given your money. 2, you know how much you have given them. And 3, they are in my office, go and invite them to answer your questions. Unfortunately, up till now, few days after making this statement, this guy perished in a plane crash at Kaduna. May his soul rest in perfect peace. So when you look at these items, I have more than 41 items to mention and to discuss about justifying the irresponsibleness of an inability and negligence of Buhari administration.
So is it now enough? Is it now enough for us to say that just because this particular administration have decided to change service chiefs, that the security situation will be different from that of the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari, owing to also to the fact that this is the same APC government that we are talking about here?
Well, for us to be sincere and honest, I am not a partisan polity or member of APC or whatever. But I am a professional and I am expert. It has been a tradition by so many other presidents who came and served, changing the service chiefs, changing the security heads, changing the head of management at a different parastatal and MDS. But notwithstanding, I am giving some level of credit and confidence and trust to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, looking at the weight of the reputation of the guys he appointed for delivering certain services. The Inspector General of Police is someone I know very well, and I believe in his personality and reputation. And I believe the messages he started sending around have started magnifying and mitigating the psychology and brain of any police officer, either young, middle class, or higher class, that a new messenger have come, and he wants to change how things were being done before. And by knowledge of the reputation, by practical knowledge of the reputation of the Chief of Army Staff and the Chief of Defense Staff and the Chief of Air Staff and other new generals that have been appointed as a certain to man certain affairs of the government related to the security, I believe that it is not the matter of let's Nigerians stop looking at the issue on the issue of the APC. No, let's be realistic and honest. Let's give this guy some level of hopes. We have to jubilate. We may not celebrate, because we cannot celebrate President Bola Ahmed Tinubu immediately for taking these bold steps. But we have to, we cannot celebrate, but we have to jubilate, because it's reality. It indicates sincerity in purpose. It indicates building the confidence of the Nigerian population. It indicates building trust in us. It indicates commitment. But as far as enabling environment is not created and is not given to these guys, they will definitely find themselves into the same frying pan.
I think
where they
that's
have
more
found
like
themselves.
saying that this particular administration will be shooting themselves on the foot, because if we say that we are trying to curb the insecurity that has bedeviled the country, we have changed service chiefs to bring in a lot more capacity and energy and vigor, then why would we create the enabling environment that you keep talking about? Who are those to create this enabling environment? And who are
Well,
those, on the other hand, that will try to stall the enabling environment?
the enabling environment will be created by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration as a primary leader, as a primary source, as a primary material, as a primary policy. But I want to tell you, the public, the traditional institutions, the religious institutions, the so-called regional bigotry that we have over regional leaders, we must come together to the drawing board. Since we have a committed and serious president who is determined to take us to the promised land, so we have to also take our responsibility and also do what is expected of all of us, myself inclusive, as an investigator, as an expert. Everybody have a role to play. But the Bola Ahmed Tinubu had to drive the process. The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had to drive the process and must be ready to create the enabling environment for this guys to succeed.
Okay, now
That is the
quickly
reality.
now,
So
quickly
the
now.
responsibility is everybody's responsibility, but primarily to be the driver of the car must be President Bola Ahmed Tinubu if really is ready. But he has shown his sincerity in purpose. He has started building our confidence and trust. And I believe that honestly, it's not about APC. It is about the person on the driver's seat. And I believe and I am confident that something is going to happen and Nigeria is going to change for the better.
That's the prayer of everybody right now. But as we speak, I think that Nigeria seems not to be on the better side when we talk about security, because of all of the insecurity issues happening, especially in the Jos area. Now, can you just, in a few minutes that we have to wrap up this conversation, put us in the know of what is happening in Plateau State, Jos exactly?
Well, what is happening in Plateau State is not something new. It's something that has been happening, that is at Mangu and many other parts of the state, but more or less in Mangu local governments, where there has been clash between Birom and Fulani. And this is not something new. This is something that has been happening long before, right, even during Shagari administration, that of Buhari administration when he was a military leader, that of Babangida administration, that of Shonikan, that of Abacha, that of Obasanjo when he was in the civilian attire, and down to Malam Umaru Musa Yaradua, that of Jonathan, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, and so on and so forth. Government, one of the weakness of the government and the security operatives in Nigeria and operations is that they don't really understand the root cause, and they don't really undergo the root cause analysis of what's really initiated and ignited certain security challenges. So sometimes when you have headache, you will be given a drugs that is supposed to be given to someone who is having a stomach pain. So until and unless a therapy is a kind of a scanning therapeutic scan is conducted, and also a government confidence and their competency, as well as the ability to kind of bring community-driven strategy. That is the only solution to understand the situation of the Fulani Birom in Mangu local governments, and all the other challenges in the country are resolvable. They can be addressed. None of the challenges that Nigeria is having, security challenges that cannot be attended and cannot be resolved and cannot be dealt with. But it is only when we have enabling environment, and when we have personnel, and when we have the armament, and when we have community-driven policing strategy and community-driven security, and build trust and confidence, and to make it community sustained, for community to develop and build to work together. Because Fulani will never leave Mangu or Filato, and the Birom cannot leave also Mangu or Filato. So since they have to be together, there must be I'm advocating for the state government not to support or fuel into the crisis, but rather should find a way of addressing the subject and dealing with it accordingly without allowing the matter to continue to be fueled, because that will not help his administration and will not help peace and harmony and will not help understanding and diversity, unity in diversity that we have been preaching of.
Yeah, quite sad stories there. But are you trying to also say very quickly now that you know, the present governor of Plateau State, Jos, is the person behind some of the killings or the issues that we've been seeing in recent times in Jos, Plateau State?
Well, I'm not raising finger, accusing anybody. I'm not in position to do that. I'm not a politician. I'm professional. But I'm saying it very clear. It depends on the style of his leadership. If the style of his leadership didn't work hard to find those stimulants that will help in managing the situation using community-driven development strategy and community-driven initiative strategies, definitely government, on the other hand, will be fueling the crisis. Because if government is adamant and is not taking the right step, the guys will continue to kill one another. Birom will kill Fulani, Fulani will kill Birom. So it will continue to expand, because there are Fulanis in all parts of Plateau, like in all parts of Nigeria. And there are Birom in almost all many parts of Plateau. So the crisis will continue to excel. So I'm not rising fingers saying this one is supporting this or this one is doing this. No.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that there is need to have a kind of a mitigating system that will harness and drive the system towards attaining the successful steps for achieving the desired objective.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Yahuza Getso, security analyst and intelligence expert. Thank you so much for your time with us on the show this morning.
Thank you for having me, and all the best.
All right. All the best as well.